again, everyone. I am here with actually a fairly large unboxing from Galen Leather Company. This is a bunch of different items that I ordered directly from Galen Leather in Istanbul. So there are quite a few things, and this might end up getting a little hectic on the table. So I'm actually going to put these things down and open this tube first, which should be a replacement desk pad for this one. So this is just a fairly cheap desk pad that I got off of Amazon. It is Vintage Desk Mat by Sesso Graphics, which is perfectly fine, but I wanted something a little bit nicer for my desk. I'm actually taking my little cup holder or my coaster here off. So I am actually going to take this old one off. It already looks better with just the table on the video. And let's go ahead and get in here. So in this tube, we have another little cloth thing. This tube is actually quite nice. I might use it for mailing something. Sometimes it's hard to mail art. So tubes are always good for mailing large art that you can roll up. All right. And then let's go ahead and open this little pouch. Oh, I can smell it. It smells very leathery. Now, yes, I was going to say, if they were smart, they probably rolled it this way, which they did. Okay. And this might be a nice bag to use for something else at some point. And it smells like leather. Okay. So it doesn't look like it has any kind of grip on the other side. So that's something to note. And I'm wondering if I will need to put some sort of grippy pad of some kind on the table itself. Because essentially this looks like just a big piece of leather. But it does look like it works pretty good. I think once it relaxes into place, it moves around just a little bit, but I think it should be fine. It's a beautiful color. This is the Crazy Horse leather, which is has a little bit of character to it, which I like. And I wanted to put this on my desk and have it not be so precious. So this is the one that I wanted to get, which is good because it was the one they had in stock. So that I could have this at my desk and have it just be, you know, something that I can not feel bad about getting scuffed up or getting some ink on it or something like that. Yeah, I do wonder if I should put a little bit of a pad underneath. I kind of wish that it was lined with something grippy on the other side. I will show you that other one again. So this cheapy one just had sort of a grippy material on the back, and dog fur, of course, has a grippy material on the back, whereas this one does not. So we shall see. I actually wonder, I'm wondering if I could, well, no, this might be too slick, the actual top of the mat. I was wondering if I could put it underneath the mat and sort of use it as a placeholder or something that would make it so it wouldn't slip around. But that's quite beautiful. So now every time I get in front of the camera for a video, it is going to be on this beautiful leather surface. Yes, and now my hands are smelling like leather, but it's not crazy smelling like leather. It, let's see, if anyone has ordered from any leather companies from overseas, you know that sometimes they can be a little bit smelly when you get them, and they smell kind of like chemicals, right? So this doesn't smell like chemicals. I noticed that there was a little bit of discoloration here up in the top corner, and I think I'm going to put that in the top corner here of my desk. Although, I don't know which I like better. This way or this way. I think I actually like this way better. Okay, so I'm going to stick with that. I may change again, so if you see a different pattern. Actually, you know, I'm always changing my mind. Let's see. Okay, that's good because that will be where my coaster will go, up in the corner, which you can't really see. And then the rest will be like this. But this is, I believe, veggie tan leather, so it has a less strong chemically smell. It actually just smells, you know, like leather. It doesn't smell like chemicals. And that chemical leather smell is something that I really, really don't like at all. It it irritates me, and usually it irritates my nose and actually makes gives me migraines sometimes. So okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to bring the other things back onto the table. All right. So like I said, from here on out, you're going to see this leather on the table underneath anything that I'm doing. This I think is good. Okay, so let's first open this little guy. You always get a little pouch with some goodies whenever you order directly from them. And this has some, look, let's see, a tobacco refreshing towel. Interesting. And then we have a Earl Grey tea, or an Earl Grey tea. And then we have some Turkish coffee. They always include some Turkish coffee. And then there is a little, I'm guessing this is one of their little evil eyes. They always include that with the little indication of what the story is of their company. So when I discovered that I can order direct from them and not have troubles, because in the past I had troubles, but the last order that I made was, it shipped in record time and was really, it was great because I got it sooner than I probably would have from a local company. Once I've discovered that, it sort of expanded the options for what I can order directly from the company. So I'm really happy about that. All right, so these, although this is not made by Galen, Galen was selling these, they are tiny little scissors from Tools to Live By. And these scissors were actually quite a bit cheaper than I had seen them elsewhere. They were actually really inexpensive on Galen's website. And they're so cute. Teeny tiny little scissors. They're adorable. I was thinking of using them for embroidery. And it looks like oh, that's nice too. So that they're actually ergonomic because the grip area is curved a little bit so that you can use them at a natural position. All right, well, those are really cute. Those are gonna go in my little embroidery kit. That was the idea. I've been looking for a little pair of scissors like this for a while, so that will be good for that. Let me get that packaging off to the side there. And then I got a Tomoe River notebook. So this is an A5, and it's just in the plain cover, the plain black cover, and this is blank paper. It comes in this little folio type thing. Oh, it has a little grid and a line thing. Oh, that is so nice. So it has, sorry, I was surprised to see that. So it has a grid, two sides, one smaller than the other, which is nice. And then it has a little line guide, one wider and one narrow. I would probably use this one because I prefer the narrower line. Same with the grid. But that is so handy, especially since it's blank paper with no lines. That will be really handy. So one of the reasons why I got this, if you have been paying attention to my saga of the Tomoe River paper, you know that I am not the biggest fan of the new paper and prefer the old paper. And as of now, as of filming this in January, this may be actually up in February, they had a notice on their website that they are still using the old Tomoe River paper for their notebooks. The problem is they were almost all sold out. So I did end up actually getting a couple of these from Amazon that I hadn't opened yet, which is why I didn't know that they had these in them. I got an A6 and then I got an A5 that I think was in dot grid, but they are mostly sold out on the Galen website. But I did want to get as much as I could of the Tomoe River paper from various sources so that, oh, that's like a little, I wonder if this is sort of like a writing pad. So like you can put it under your paper. I don't know. That's actually quite nice. There we go. Quite nice. So thoughtful. Okay. Well, I'm really glad I got that. And you can tell right off the bat that it's the old paper because it is super thin, like the old paper. And the notebook in itself is a little smaller, even though it has 400 pages in here. So I am really, really excited about that. I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet. I might use it for my for some of my Watership Down fountain pen project stuff, since I'm essentially using that to test pens. And then the last thing I have, which you can kind of already tell what it is the Stack and Store pen and ink tray. So I just got one of these. They have a whole system where they have, as you can see from the picture here, they have a really deep wooden compartment, I suppose, where you can put ink bottles and that sort of thing in it. I didn't get that. And then there is a little pen tray, and I got the one with the glass cover. You can also just get the tray plain as it is, but I got the one with the cover so that I could have just this tray. They were planning on making, I can't remember if it's the tray or the larger compartment for the ink, if they were planning on making those a little bit taller width-wise, because apparently there have been some issues with it just being a tiny bit too narrow for some things to put in it. But I think I don't have any super fat fountain pens that I was planning on putting in here, so it does look like there is a little bit of, not necessarily scuffing, but you can see there's maybe like a little bit of water damage on here. I have had varying results with wood products from them, so I was a little hesitant to get this, but it's fairly inexpensive, so I thought I will go ahead and try it out. Oh, perfect. So it has a little lip here underneath so that you could stack it. So I may end up getting, depending on how this one goes and how I like it, I may end up getting others to stack. And this is just such a pretty little tray. Let me see. I'm wondering if I can use, let me see if I have one of my little polishing cloths here. Problem is that they are so all over the place. I think I have one actually in my pen roll here. I'm going to get one of those out. Wow, all these things together just look so classy on my desk. Okay, yes, I do have a little polishing cloth. So I'm wondering if I can get that off, maybe put some wood treatment. It doesn't seem to be rubbing off normally. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, quite frankly, I probably would end up doing that myself with something around. It's quite a bit dusty too. I'm wondering whether I would be able to buff that out. Let's see, I'm trying. I wonder if it's truly a water stain or if it's like the what would you call that? Whatever they use to treat the wood kind of lifting up. So the other wooden good that I got from them that I really had a negative experience with was the writing box. So it had completely buckled after I got it. Pretty much like the day of or the day after I got it, it completely buckled. And I couldn't even close it anymore. And I had purchased that from Goulet Pens, so they were really good about letting me return it and paying for shipping back and all of that. And actually they said recently that they have stopped carrying it because they do have they had so many troubles. Oh, look, you can see my camera in the thing. They had so many troubles with that happening, with it warping. So I'm curious to see if this will be the same. It definitely looks nice. I kind of wish it looked like this on the top. I don't think I'll pursue anything as far as return or even a bit of a refund, just because, I mean, it was so inexpensive. I mean, I feel kind of two ways about things that are inexpensive. I feel like, well, you know, maybe I'm not going to get quality, or, you know, and then if there is something wrong with the item, I feel kind of bad complaining because I feel like, why am I complaining? You know, it was a good deal to begin with. But anyway, I will put a link down below to all of these items on the Galen website. Yes, see here? So there's a little bit of scratching too, and it was even in the box. And this kind of thing I have had trouble with, not just with that box warping, obviously, but the pen cases, I think I'd mentioned this before, that there was some scuffing, like deep indents from the way they had packaged it. So this is kind of something that I am aware of. If I wanted this to be sort of a centerpiece, I would be very upset about this. But it's really just for sort of ancillary storage. And one of the main reasons why I got it, I got the lid just because the lid edition was so inexpensive to add. But I thought about just getting this box because I thought it would be really great for just profiling pens generally, or comparing pens on this channel. And it looks like it fits a lot of different size pens. These are pretty big. Let's see. There we go. And let's see if the tray will close over those without any trouble. Yes, there is. So I can see what people were talking about if they had super big pens. The Euphoria, Bennu Euphoria is probably at the top upper limit of what would fit in here, because this lid is right up against the top of that pen. So if you had something that was thicker than a Bennu Euphoria, which is pretty thick, I think you would have trouble putting things in this storage. But it works pretty well for showing these off, and it has really nice, this really nice, I don't even know what this, I think it's made out of wood coated with felt. I actually think they said it's flocked, which I actually know what flocking is because I'm so into the Muppets. So basically, if you don't know, most of the Muppets go through a flocking process after they are made, which makes them nice and fuzzy and sort of appear to have a more realistic texture to their fur, right? And so that's what this is too. It's basically like a spray, almost like a spray velvet. How about that? And that that creates this flocking. All right, and then it is. Let me take these out, and then I will show you the underside of that. Put those back where they were. And another great Galen product, and this actually had no issues at all. This is their little honeycomb pen holder, and I've had this on my desk for a while, and it works great. I hold fountain pens, regular pens. I hold some watercolor brushes for doing watercolor on my table, and then a little pair of scissors here, and it works great. I really love that a lot. And now that I'm actually thinking about the logistics of having a leather mat here, that's going to be pretty hard for doing watercolor in this space. So I'm wondering how careful I want to be, or if I just want to let it get completely aged and scratched and marred with like water or whatever. I think I'm going to be okay with that, right? Because I mean, I do work a lot. I work for work at this desk, but I also do a variety of things for myself. So, oh yes, so I was taking these pens out so that I could show you the underside. I got distracted telling you all about, actually it was the Muppets. It was the Muppets that distracted me. Okay, so this is not wood. It looks like it's particle board. So you've got a cutout particle board, and then you have this tray. You can get the trays without the pen slots. You can get this thing separately. At the time that I ordered, the separate little insert here was out of stock. But they did have just a plain tray, which I suppose you could also just use for fountain pens. And you'd be able to hold bigger fountain pens, I would think, a little bit, because you're not dealing with that little bit of space here in that thing. So I'm so technical. Yeah, so you would actually have a little bit more room to put a thicker pen, but then it wouldn't be cushioned in the bottom with this tray. So it's a trade-off. But like I said, I don't plan to put anything larger than what would fit in here. And this is super nice for displaying pens on the channel too. So that's one of the reasons why I got it. And I also wanted to be able to see some of my really pretty pens just sort of sitting out in a tray. I just thought that would be really nice. And the other reason why I got the glass cover is because if I do plan to let my pens sit out like this for a little while, I didn't want them to get all dusty. So I actually recently found out, this is all about weird knowledge that I had and garnered from various places. So I actually found out that there is quartz in our dust. I found this out from the YouTuber Inky Rocks, actually, who's fantastic. But she was saying that there is quartz in dust, and that is why when you leave things out and then you polish them after they get a little dusty, you're actually creating little micro scratches in your pens, which is what she was referring to, because of the quartz in the dust. So that's fascinating. So I decided to get a cover so that dust wouldn't gather on my pens if I do plan to let them sit out this way. So what I might do with this is I might just go over with a little bit of like Minwax or something like that to see if I can get it to get a little bit more even. That to me looks like water damage or the varnish sort of lifting up off the wood. And because I live in such a dry location, I feel like some of this stuff where things dry out, I can't really blame the company. But anyway, so there you go. That's my explanation for why I'm probably not going to say anything about that to the company. But there you go. That was the last item. That was some really exciting stuff. If you can't gather by my attitude, I'm like super excited about having this little tray. And what's really nice is it holds these super tall pens, because those menus are pretty large. And there you go. All right. Well, that's it for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I hope to see you next time. But in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Thanks for hanging in with me today. Bye.